Good morning, my friends. I think that you have found me in one of my favorite places in all of creation, where I like to write, where I don't believe I've ever recorded before. So this is a grove of redwoods in a park in the city I live in. Feels far more wild and natural than the environment around it. But it was a beautiful place. Has 600 trees in a 3-acre area. And this little grove of redwoods corresponds to the only spot with a picnic table here. So it makes a fairly natural place to write and think, and it occurs to me to record. So, to begin, as I may have mentioned to you before, I'm trying to write longer, more epic story poems, um, as I'm very inspired by long poems, like Howl, like Beowulf, like the Rime of the Ancient Mariner. So, this is called the forcible death and resurrection of a late bloomer. I hope you enjoy it. The late bloomer didn't know. He wasn't aware he was dead until the late bloomer was already dead for some 40 some odd years. Many would say they loved him, but they only helped him into his grave for some 40 some odd years. She with the strychnine and him with the shovel for some 40 some odd years. They only meant to subdue him, they didn't intend to undo him for some 40 some odd years. When he would not comply, they plucked out his eyes. When he would not obey, they blackened his name, till they finally amputated his legs. So he fell headlong into his grave, and they threw soil on his body and face. And they were glad he was dead, although the late bloomer was already dead for some 40 some odd years. The late bloomer lay under the dirt and rocks that didn't hurt nearly as much as the strychnine of 40 odd years. She with the strychnine and him with the shovel for some 40 some odd years. They didn't mean to undo him, only subdue him for some 40 some odd years. And they were glad he was dead, although the late bloomer was already dead for some 40 some odd years. So the late bloomer lay under the earth and ate the dirt and rocks till he was ready to burst, till his face was free and then down to his knees and a belly full of rocks and dirt. The late bloomer sat up in the hole full of dust. His stomach didn't bleed nearly as much as the shovels of some 40 some odd years. The late bloomer didn't know he was alive until the rocks and dirt left his insides on the first day of his first year. Do you know any dead men that you kick in the teeth to try to create order and stability? Do you have a dead horse you like to hit with a spade? You could be pulling someone slowly into their grave. But what of the late bloomer who ate the rubble? He won't be your friend if you own strychnine or a shovel. If you try to undo him, fix or subdue him, he won't be your friend if you own strychnine or a shovel. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I enjoy being here in the Redwoods reading it to you. If you've enjoyed this poem, I invite you to like, subscribe, and comment about what you enjoyed about this poem. And as always, pray more, complain less.